welcome to another biology presentation. So in this presentation, I want us to answer this question right here. So before we answer this question, if you have not followed me on my YouTube channel, make sure that you follow me on my YouTube channel, or you go and search Mr. Mlenga, so that you'll be able to subscribe and see the content that I post every day, both in mathematics and the biology. So I'm going to answer this question right here. Okay. The question reads, Table 1 describes some of the characteristics of living organisms. Complete the table by identifying each characteristic described. The first one has been completed as an example. So this is our table 1 right here. We have description, then there is the characteristic. So the first one has been done as an example. Responding to stimuli in the environment. What is the characteristic that matches this description? It's irritability or sensitivity, meaning that living organisms, they are able to respond to stimuli in the environment. For example, you as a human being, if you touch a very hot object, you are going to feel the pain. You are going to feel that it's very hot, and you're going to respond by dropping it down. Okay, that is what we call irritability. Apart from that, you can even feel that today is very cold, it's very warm. These are what we are talking about, irritability or sensitivity. Let's now look at another description. Releasing energy from sugars. Okay, so which characteristic describes this description? Releasing energy from sugars. So living organisms are able to release energy from sugars, and this is what we call respiration. Okay, so the characteristic here is the respiration, which is the ability of living organisms to be able to release energy from the sugars. Let us now move on to our third one, producing more organisms of the same type. Producing more organisms of the same type. So which characteristic is being described here? So producing more organisms of the same type, we are talking about reproduction, okay, where we are going to have offsprings that are going to be produced by living organisms. So here is the reproduction. That is the characteristic that is being described here. We now move on to our fourth one, getting rid of waste chemicals made in the organisms. So which characteristic of living organisms is being described here? Getting rid of waste chemicals made in the organism. So these waste chemicals, meaning that they are toxic chemicals that are not needed in the body of an organism. So the characteristic which is being described here is the excretion. So excretion is the removal of waste chemicals made in the organisms, or it is the removal of toxic substances from the body of an organism. We call this as the excretion. So this is the characteristic which is being described here. We now move on to our last one, which is our fifth description here, obtaining the materials for growth. So living organisms, yes, they have one characteristic whereby if they want to grow, they need to eat. They need to eat some material. They need to eat food. Okay, so the characteristic that is being described here, where living organisms will be obtaining the materials for growth. This is what we call feeding or nutrition. So we can write nutrition right here, or we can say feeding. So these are some of the characteristics of living organisms. We have irritability, respiration, reproduction, excretion, nutrition, movement. We also have growth. Okay, we also have movement, like I've said, and the cells. So make sure that you know all these characteristics of living organisms. So thank you so much, everybody, once again. So if you need online tuitions in mathematics and biology, you are free to WhatsApp me on 0963 676615. 0963 676615. Thank you so much, everybody, once again. Bye-bye.